good.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, or whenever you're listening to this podcast. Welcome to the 5th episode of the UTS Finance Society Podcast, Finance Unplugged. I am your host, Alicia, and next to me, my amazing co-host next to me is Isabella.
Hello, so today we're going to go back in time and we're going to take a look at our financial history, any financial mistakes we've made, and life lessons that we've definitely learnt in our last 20 years. Totally.
Well, 22 soon to be.
Okay, so...
22 for me. Sorry, guys.
Not that much of a difference, really. We're going to look at all of these fun things that we have learned in the world of finance as young professionals and university students who are trying to not end up ourselves before even getting there.
Yeah, and end up broke. But if you are new to this podcast, which hopefully you all are, we are Finance Unplugged. We are an informative podcast giving you entertainment and bite-sized fun bits of financial information. So something palatable for you guys to understand. But nevertheless, we've got a couple of headlines in finance we have today.
Yes, so today we have some very concerning news with stagflation risks with the current Middle East dispute, or war as we are calling it.
Yep.
The oil shocks and our current expected consumer spending is going to drop because all our households are feeling the high mortgage rates from the currently high, I believe it's like 4.35 now.
Are we still at is it 4.35 still?
I think so. I don't think they've changed it yet.
Over here, right. I'm going to double check that. We've still got, 4.1.
Okay, so our 4.1% cash rate, that's still pretty high when you think about it.
It is. And the next decision to come up about that is actually on the 5th of May, Google is telling me. So, yeah, I did see that stagflation? I was going to say stagflation. Risk, yes. So, no, a lot of households would be feeling it. I think we're feeling it as well with the petrol.
Definitely.
There has been a couple of announcements now in the news of having 30 days left of oil reservoir, and that's getting support now, and apparently Anthony Albanese is going to make a statement to the country tonight, I think.
Oh yes, they were talking about that today in class, but I was zoning out because I was, for some reason, just not awake today. This whole day was clearly not for me.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, and it's also a couple of days before Easter and Good Friday. To all those who celebrate out there, happy Easter soon to be, and Good Friday. But let us continue on. We've got our market volatility in the ASX 200 rebounded to a 2-week high, following the signs of de-escalating Middle East tensions between Iran and the US. I don't know how I feel about that. So is it gotten better or has it gotten worse?
It's gotten better, apparently.
Okay, well, thank God for that.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, that could just be like a momentary high, and then we just continue to plummet.
I really feel like we are expecting the optimism, but it's going to crush us really fast.
Don't say that to me. I'm trying to be hopeful. As well in our headlines today, we've got mining stocks and gold are performing well, but the largest wild prawn fishing company collapsed, and petrol prices are placing severe pressure on households. Prawn fishing company?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it, I was like, that sounds like a fun random finance fact.
That is true. I'm like... A prawn fishing company. Look, for Australia to be an island surrounded by water, I'm surprised that a prawn fishing company did collapse. And
especially like right now, like.
Yeah.
Okay, I get the fact that seafood's a little bit more expensive than typical produce.
Yeah.
But also, the largest company, it's a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Mm-hmm. And like also with like Easter and Good Friday, I mean like all the meals and barbecues will probably be happening. I'm sorry, guys. I say this every episode. I can never speak.
It's literally 6 p.m. That's fine.
I know we get a little bit more chaotic. And with our final headline today, we've got temporary halving of the fuel excise. I can't speak again.
That's okay.
For around 3 months. So what's that going to mean for us, do you think?
So basically, it's hopefully going to decrease our fuel prices. That's what they're saying, but by half. And that's only in taxes. So technically, petrol companies still can hike it as much as they want to.
Yeah.
But we just don't pay as much tax to the government. So we'll see how that kind of plays out for us.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I've seen on the news and the radio lately with this whole, they're doing the excise for the 3 months, but, petrol is still going to be expensive. And apparently the fuel prices and everything, they still got to sell the good stuff before they actually get to that whole taxing and everything, which is a bit crazy, but... Oh, what's a levy? Mm-hmm. We'll make it from there. Alright, so now we move on to our official episode.
Yeah, the there's quite a few things to talk about this episode.
There is. And I think definitely in our 20 to 22 years, 42 years combined, to be weird that way, we've probably made a few financial mistakes in our lifetime. But, yeah, so, I don't know, like, just to name a few, we're going to talk about some of our mistakes, some of our budgeting strategies, how to manage that, some management tips, and even some colloquial examples. We've got a couple of listeners of the podcast. So, start us off, what's been a big financial mistake for you, do you think, Isabella?
I definitely feel like, you know that quote where it's like, celebrate the little accomplishments, not just the big one?
Yes.
Yeah, in my first year of university, I think I took that a little bit too far second semester. It was like, in the moment, I didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
But, look, if I had told myself back then, because I had taken these ridiculously difficult subjects, I was like, you know what, it's okay. I need to celebrate the fact that I've even gotten this far without dropping out yet. So, good for me. But, no, I feel like definitely take that advice with caution. Do not go full steam ahead with it.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. I feel like some of my friends and I, definitely in our first year of unis, did celebrate a lot of the small wins, or even just like felt like there was no excuse for us to want to save, so we just like went out drinking quite a lot. Like, I feel like 18 to 19 was a year, particularly my first uni, was a year of lots of clubbing experiences and going out for drinks.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really common experience at this point.
But and like celebrating that, but then like definitely by the end I was like, no, we must rein it now.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's totally fair. I think some of my biggest financial mistakes in my life have been to do with car offences and fines. I have unfortunately I've not been the victim of, I'm just silly, or I'm just not very smart when it comes to driving. So I've gotten a few driving fines and thought it's fine. And then ended up have lost almost, if I had to really equate 5, 8.
Oh no.
At least I've lost about 1.5k to fines.
That's insane.
Within like the amount of years I've been driving, which again, I've been driving since I was 16. Power to the people who learned how to drive during the COVID era. That was me. But yeah, in all my years of driving, which has been 6 years, I've probably lost about 1.5k in fines.
Wow. That's just crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely been my biggest financial mistake. So, biggest advice from that, just learn how to drive and park better. Be me, but better, I think is what I'm trying to say. And I think I would tell that to a lot of people. But in that sense, would I make this mistake again? No, even though I still constantly do it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And what would I change if I did? Yeah, just be smarter. I think with that, it's just like, just being smarter with what you're doing. And smart with like the decisions you make and how that might impact your money and your finances. Yeah, so I think that's really interesting to say.
Okay. Do we have any other financial mistakes that we just don't want to talk about? Or that we are traumatized to even remember?
I think I'm going to open up the Pandora's box. The fines is a big one. I think of another big one for me, which I love my mother so much. But constantly growing up, she used to buy me clothes. Or even I would buy myself clothes. And I would just never wear them. And like,
oh no, that's totally fair.
It's a universal experience. It's a universal experience for girls. I feel particularly for girls. I don't know about guys. It could be different.
I do as well.
You really, man?
Really? Okay. Would you like to comment on that?
No, nothing much. But it looks better in the source.
Yes, sorry guys, we are introducing our editing guy, Man, who's right in the corner with us. He loves to hang out with us and help us with our camera setups. But yeah, no, it's a pretty universal experience with the whole your parents buy you something and you're like, why did you buy that for me? 2, I would never wear that. And 3, we've just wasted money. And they've also wasted money on us. And like, I definitely feel bad. Back in the day, probably should have worn some of the things my mum bought me because they were sort of nice. But I even do that to my own self nowadays. Mm-hmm. And like, I feel like I haven't even learnt my lesson.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. What's another financial mistake that we have? Did you make many when you were starting your startup? I don't know if you want to open that hatchet.
Yeah, I definitely did make a lot, but not like the current business I have. Like older businesses. Like,
Oh, okay.
we're talking really old.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how, like, are we a decade ago? Or...
Oh,
no, wait.
over a
don't put-
decade.
I'm like, that would put you so young. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. We're talking like I was 7 years old.
What?
And as you can imagine, a 7-year-old does not really have the financial literacy
Yeah.
for half these things. So, yeah, let's not go all the way back down to when I was 7. Let's,
Okay.
Travel back up a few years. What year would you like a story from?
I'm like, you're 20 and it's 2026. Okay, prime time, COVID time. Like, what was like
okay.
COVID time for you? Like, if you
Oh,
had
wow.
financial mistakes.
COVID was the worst. I'm just going to be so straight up honest.
Yeah.
I remember because everyone was at home and we all basically weren't able to go out from that extended lockdown.
Yes.
I'm sure you recall that fun time.
Oh, so great.
My best friend and I, let's just say we decided to make a whole new business concept, business idea, like completely out of the blue. Online learning was great because we could finish everything in 2 hours and then we have the rest of the day to do anything else. So, yeah, unfortunately, COVID gave us way too much free time. Let's just put that simply. And as a result of that, we started, and because I was the one who primarily had like the more quote-unquote business acumen
Oh,
at
God.
the time,
Yeah.
she was in charge of creative and operations-based stuff. I was in charge of finance, marketing, and, all the other fun stuff of business.
Yep.
And to be honest, it was all my money that we were using, so it wasn't like she was technically creating a financial loss for herself. But she had a lot of these ambitious ideas, and me being me at the time was like, you know what, her parents are so strict, it's fine, why not allow her to live out her dream? Yeah, don't do that. Do not pay for your friend's dream. Like, genuinely don't. That's a bad idea.
What did you do?
She wanted to open like this, it wasn't even an art commission business, but it was framed in that way in our business plan.
Right.
Which we totally, stuck to.
Yeah.
But essentially, she wanted to do like portraits, keychains, paintings, anything and everything artistic.
Yeah.
So I would like basically send her money to buy supplies, to set up a website, and handle all of that fun stuff. And now this is why I'm not in tech anymore, because I'm just traumatized. But yeah, I can say we wasted a couple of thousand
Oh my
on that, and the business idea never even took off. Like, we didn't even sell anything because she couldn't be bothered to make it.
That's tough. That's
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a we don't talk about it, Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno moment. Yeah. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Christ. That's intense. And, like, also for that age, like, wow. Like, I'm like, when I was in COVID, I wasn't dealing with that. What was I dealing with? Mental health. We all dealt with mental health during COVID. Yeah, that was a big one for us, I feel like.
I feel like that could have led to quite a few financial spendings. To say the least.
Yes. No, 100%. I think as well, what's another financial thing I've actually wasted myself on? Food. No, yeah, sometimes the uni experience and buying food and eating out with your friends is a financial mistake. You don't need to buy that $20 to $25 meal, even though it looks delicious. You can just bring beautiful food from home.
Mm-hmm.
I've instilled that into my life, and I stray from it quite often, unfortunately.
Yeah. I've heard like a ton of my friends try doing that. I don't think they stuck to it, to be completely fair.
Yeah.
But you know what? At least they're trying.
Yeah, and that's all you can really do. But that's okay. Our next bit, we've got our budgeting strategies. So, our budgeting strategies. You've got university, personal, professional investing, rainy day worries, and miscellaneous.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe with budgeting for university?
Personally, for university, I try to have like a set amount per day that I will basically allow myself to spend.
Yeah.
And honestly, the more often you go to university, like the more days you have to attend, I feel like you should definitely not keep that amount as high.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would definitely add up really quickly.
Yeah.
So in my first year, when I was only basically here like 1 day a week, sometimes not even, because they were always online classes, I allowed myself about like $50 to basically spend a day. Because I don't only be here for one class, so like what's the point?
Yeah, but
Anyway.
like 50, I feel like 50, even when I was back in 18, 19, still felt like a bit. I don't know. Oh, was it? Nah, actually. I worked enough to like earn coin. Actually, no. 50 is pretty decent a day. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I digress, I digest. No, that's fair. And I think as well, when you're into uni, I mean, like, throughout all of my uni, I've usually been in 2-3 times a week. Unlike this times, I usually feel like I'm in, like, the entire full time, but that's just me doing my stuff. Yeah, that money does accumulate when you spend food.
It definitely does.
And, like, the drinks and everything like that. So, yeah, setting a personal limit for yourself every day with uni is quite good. I like that. I think as well, we should probably also talk about this, but you know the emails we always get for, like, the amenities and the... I ignore those all the time.
Wait, why?
Because I'm just like, oh, it's fine, it's money, like, hex did it, it's sweet, we're great. Like...
I love how you're so chill about it. Whenever I get that email, I, like, panic and I'm like, nope, we need to pay this off right now.
I will be honest, I do have a momentary panic of like, oh my god, what have I not paid? Like, am I in debt right now? Which, no, I am in debt. To the government and to my uni, doing my degree. But yeah, all the small, like, $150 amenities and stuff that's like, oh, you know, this money is being paid to, like, go to better services. Like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm like, oh, I'll do with you later. I've accepted the fact, even with university, and actually on the conversation of hex debt, not surprised, but do you know how much your hex debt is?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it high?
I wouldn't say as high as people expect considering what I study.
That is true. And you do study a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like diploma with Spanish, economics, masters of teaching.
And the innovation.
And the innovation as well, yes.
So it's not as high as people expect it to be, which, you know, I would say is pretty good.
Yeah, that is fair. I think before, and like, look, thanks Albo for giving us 20% tax reduction on our, 20% reduction on our hex debts. Like, I thought mine was going to be much higher, and then it dropped after the 20%. I was like, oh, sweet!
You don't have to pay as much now.
Don't have to pay as much, but look, we're going to do it anyway because we're doing honours and a master's in the end, so just take it with a grain of salt. But yes, our hex debt is going to be a very interesting thing to deal with in the future.
Definitely.
So yes, my cousin with her hex debt, she was talking to me and I was like, oh, so you're going to go do a master's? She was umming. Anyway, she's like, no, master's is too expensive. I just finished with a bachelor. I'm like, but just hex it. She's like, no, I don't want to deal with all this debt in the end. I'm like, which is fair. I mean, by the end of it, depending on what we all do, we're either going to end up with, I feel like minimum we'll get 40, maybe 50 to like 110K in like...
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good estimate.
A good estimate for how much a hex debt would be for us as students. But yeah, I don't know. I'm all about that debt life. Shouldn't say that actually.
Should we say this?
Shouldn't be saying this. I'm all about the debt life when it comes to university. Other than that, do not be in the debt life. Being in debt, it sucks.
It's not a good thing to do.
No, I'm not willing to put myself through it. I know lots of people who've put themselves through it and they've like suffered. So we're not doing that as well. But we've also got our personal budgeting strategies. Personally for me, when it comes to my personal accounts, I, obviously, we all know I work 3 different jobs, various different types of kind of income coming in different times and everything, and fortnightly usually. So being in the personal savings aspect of things can be a bit tough. I have definitely gotten better in the sense of how to split the pay, which is nice. I definitely, from recall back to our first episode to thank you to the podcast, She's on the Money. Shout out to those guys if you get to listen to this about, you know, earning and owing and spending and owing. I've definitely taken that mentality now a bit more in the sense of how much I should be spending and earning, how much I actually should be putting away. Because the certain lifestyle I have will be different to yours, will be different to the next person next to me. Like, so that's very different, I think.
Definitely. I feel like with personal budgeting strategies in general, like you can't always like apply the same principle to everyone else. Like everyone needs their own version. Yeah. So like I feel like even though in high school you get taught the 50-30-20 rule.
50-30-20 rule?
Yeah.
I did not know this. Can you explain this?
Okay. So essentially you have 100% of your income. What happens is 50% is all related to necessary spending, so your essentials like clothes, food, rent, water, etc. And then 30% is your non-essential spending. So this could be things like, for example, additional clothing that you might not need.
Yep.
Cosmetic products, hair care products, like anything basically you could want.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily have to actually buy. So think more impulse purchases, basically.
Right. Yes.
And then 20% goes into savings. And that's like a hard, fast rule. Like 20% of your income is always going into your savings account.
Wow, that's really interesting. I've never heard of this rule.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. In all my years of like study and uni and people talking about like budgeting, I've never heard of that rule ever.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, every single class, they spoke about this and I was just so bored of it. At that point, I was like, don't even mention those numbers. Like, if you're going to give me a question in mathematics, it better not have one of those numbers in it.
Oh my god. No, that's fair. Especially if you hear it repeated a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's a really good rule. I like that rule. I should have been instilling that further. Actually, do you know what? It was really funny. I was moving money into my bank account and I'm with Combank. And it comes up with this little prompt of like, oh, you're saving now. It's like, yeah, duh. Have I not been doing that? Actually, I haven't been doing that for the last year. Yeah, spending my money. But, dollar bills, y'all. But, it came up with this prompt of like, oh, you're saving. It's like, yes. It's like, oh, well, we can help you with that. So it's like, it gave me, it's like, for some reason my Combank app was like obviously saying like, oh, you're actually finally moving money into your bank account. Let's help you budget it. So got this prompt and then it's like, oh, what's your goal? So it's like, oh, maybe 15, 20K. How many months? Oh, maybe 7 to 8 months. I'll see how I go, all this stuff. And then it actually spit out a number being like, if you save $323 or something of the sorts, like a fortnight or no, not fortnight, weekly, you can reach that goal. And it's like,
Okay. That sounds really, like, helpful, actually.
no, yeah, and I thought it was like, oh, 323 a week, which then, if I kind of calculated it, it's like, okay, if this was my pay fortnightly, how much would that be? And it was like about 170 something.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
At least, yeah.
even better.
Yeah, so, like, to even be more realistic in the sense, it's like, if I could do that, then, like, it could be easier for everyone. And I think it's so cool that they, like, that prompt kind of happened for me. I don't know if your bank does it as well.
I'm also with Combank, but I've never gotten that prompt.
Yeah, it was really
Sorry.
weird. And obviously, my phone is listening to me. Listening.
literally.
Quite literally, it is listening to me as I talk about my finances and how I'm struggling. But as we press on, we also have our professional budgeting as well and investing.
Yeah, so as we spoke about last week,
Yes.
we definitely don't want to invest just yet. So we're going to skip that one.
Yeah,
Move back to professional.
Yes, we'll be professional. What's our professional budgeting? I don't know. I can't say much for professional budgeting. I don't own a business. I don't do anything.
Honestly, with professional budgeting, one thing I remember learning about this, it was just like, in general, if this was your quote-unquote job, or like you had a specific job, what would you want to aim for, like, each year financially? So, for example, if I happened to wanted to be a financial analyst and I knew, like, what their salary was, how much of that do I aim to save, basically, each year? So then you kind of just break it down.
Okay,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like your personal savings, in a way, but more specifically, you reinvest it back, whether that's into a side hustle or if you wanted to, reskill, retrain, blah, 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 all those, fun things that we clearly think about as 20-year-olds.
Yes.
And 22-year-olds. Yeah, that's kind of the professional category.
Okay, cool. Because I was like professional, like my income. But when you talk about reinvesting, no, that's totally fair. And like even reinvesting in the sense of like getting stocks and options, I think the more we get into the corporate world and stuff around that, the more we'll actually start to understand. And like our salary packages will also include that. And that'll be another interesting conversation to have, 5 to 10 years down the road when all that is happening as well. And then we have some rainy day worries. Now, when I saw this, I was a bit worried.
Why?
Because rainy day means like everything's gone to like shit.
Yeah, quite literally. That's the point of it.
But I don't want a rainy... No, I'm kidding. Rainy day worries are really smart. I don't have a rainy day. My savings is my rainy day.
I feel like that's really common, especially for like younger people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't blame you at all. Like I don't have one.
Yeah, I feel like the more older we get and the more money hopefully we should get, it's smart to invest in a rainy day because it is true, God forbid you get fired or made redundant or like, the world turns into an apocalyptic state. I mean, at this point, it feels like it is going to be that way. Then a rainy day definitely would help. Indeed. And then we've got miscellaneous.
Yeah, so this is just any other type of spending category that you might want to include. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it depends. Some people have specific hobbies that are, super expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a dancer and gymnast when I was younger, so we can talk about how
No way!
much that costs, clearly.
Oh my goodness! Look. Dancer, gymnast, cellist. Both very, performing arts is always an expensive sector. I will be honest, we spent, actually no, I traded in my old cello for a very rare, German cello, which it was 197, had only been made, and I got one of them. And it was originally 1.4k, and I traded it in my dad bought it for me for 800. But it's beautiful and I love it and I'm gonna have it forever. But yeah, no, I always feel like performing arts, athletics is always a very expensive sector, miscellaneous wise. So no, that is smart to say. And gymnastics and dancing,
Oh, we don't talk about that. That was a primary school me. I gave up in high school. I was like, nope, we're not bringing this into the same environment.
Oh dear. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, have you gone back into it though?
Nope.
No, just left
Fully,
it.
in the past, we're not going to ever do it again. I wouldn't think about it.
Okay, that's fair. Alright. Now, how do we manage our finances in a crisis? Lol, I love what you said when you realize your bank account is screaming at you.
Yeah.
No, how do you manage manage your finances in a crisis? Yes. How would you do that?
Honestly, as you can see, I put in some very interesting options.
You did.
But the one I mostly use is the first one and the second last one, which is using separate accounts. So you have your everyday spending account and then a specific savings account where you can technically touch it, but it's recommended you don't.
Yeah.
And then auditing your spending and their purposes. I definitely need to do that again.
Yes, I definitely do. Number one, I will. Oh my god, I will make one note though. The partner, the love of my life. When I first started dating him, and I saw his bank account, and I'm like, you only have one. Where's your? I was like, oh, so this is obviously when you get more into your relationship and you start talking about sharing money and all this stuff and paying each other back for things. Anyway, we're talking and I was like, oh, so you've got this and do you have anything else? No. What? Where's your savings? I don't need it. What?
Okay.
I legitimately remember me having not a meltdown, but definitely a psychotic break of why do you not have a savings account? Mm-hmm. How do you know? My thing is I have a whole big anxiety thing of yeah, it's OCD anxiety kind of vibes of tracking my finance and tracking my saving. Back in the day when I was younger, not earning too much, but then when I first started earning money and working, I was big on put as much as I can into savings and little amounts for me. Mm-hmm. Wasn't very healthy, but yeah, when I saw my partner's bank account, I broke a little bit. Yeah. I was like, what? What?
Shock you must have been feeling just in that moment.
Oh no, I was like, what do you mean? What do you? I legit did it a whole Vine why moment to him. But he does pretty well now. And honestly, I don't know. I feel like men don't spend as much as girls, as women. I mean, we've got cosmetics, we've got hair, we've got makeup. Waxing. Waxing cost me for a half $25. I could save that by doing it at home by myself.
That's a good point. Definitely good.
I could, but I don't. I don't want to.
It's a time cost as well, when you think about it.
Yeah. It is a time cost thing. But I digress. I just needed to put that point in because I saw that first point. I was like, oh my god, I remember this moment in our relationship. Anyway, I love you, babes. Yes, definitely using separate accounts for our everyday and savings. Cancelling unused subscriptions. I don't even know what subscriptions. I think all my subscriptions are free. I don't pay. Do you pay for any subscriptions?
I do now. Before I didn't.
What do you pay for now?
Well, I manage all the entertainment related stuff now. Mm-hmm. So Netflix, Paramount Plus, Kindle, anything
You're the entertainment person in the house. Like the keeper of the keys.
And technically yes, and also no. It was only because all my friends were very specific, and they were like, "You need to watch this show or this movie," and I was like, "I can't be bothered," and they're like, "Stop paying Apple TV. Like, it's not worth it."
Apple TV is good.
Exactly. That's
I love Apple
the
TV.
point.
Hey, Ted
I'm
Lasso.
trying to-
Ted Lasso. Horses. There's a lot of good movies on there. Sinners. Actually, no, that's HBO Max. Oh, whatever. It's still
fine. The point is, it's a good platform, and they're basically just, trying to get me out of it by making me pay for all these other subscriptions.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no thanks. What else? Casual and freelance work. Well, I think we definitely pipe up a lot about our jobs and how much we've done casually and freelancing wise. Having an emergency fund, do not have one of those. I love this. Checking and staying on top of your money. I definitely do that.
Yep.
I'm always one to like, there's so many people, particularly young people, who are like, I don't want to look at my bank account, I don't want to see. I'm the let me look and let me see, because like the minute it's like, okay, like I can start tracking this now, I can start moving this stuff over. Like I've mentally already prepared for the fact that I've got to pay my fine. Like I've already moved the $200 over into the savings to be like, you can't touch this now. This is for your fine, which will come soon. Anyway, so yes, buying things where possible, secondhand or shopping smarter. Okay, hot take. I do love the idea of secondhand shopping. I just find it so frustrating, one, and two, sometimes I just feel like the quality is just not as good as the first.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The first product. I don't know. That's my hot take. What do you think?
I personally don't shop secondhand, so writing that point down really felt, quite hypocritical.
Oh, man.
So I was quite shocked writing it. But the shopping smarter one, I feel like the idea of secondhand shopping, it really depends on the type of product you're after, I feel.
Exactly, yes.
So my friends, they're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I've been dragged to way too many different secondhand op shops in Paddington.
In Newtown?
No, I haven't been.
You should go to Newtown. There's a couple of nice ones there, but yeah, Paddington. I haven't done Paddington actually.
You should. There's quite a few options.
Yeah.
But then you have all the actual boutiques, and yeah.
And like everything costs like $500 to $1,000. No, I get that part. I get that part of Paddington.
So yeah, that's one thing I would say. I feel like I should look into, but also I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think op shops are really interesting because you do make a point. Certain things are good secondhand. Like I feel like if you want something unique, like jewelry wise, or even furniture, like back in the day, our parents, well, particularly my parents, everything whenever they got into a new apartment was always secondhand. It was always someone's mother's couch, someone's cabinet, something off the road that they found that actually kind of works. Like that was very much back in the 80s and 90s vibe of like you kind of got what you got.
Yeah.
When a lot of the time that was secondhand and like you kind of splurged if it was like first-hand shopping. But yeah, I think also the renaissance. It is. The renaissance of secondhand shopping and op shopping has definitely come back, I think, over the last 5 years.
Definitely has. And like upcycling as
Yeah.
well. I wish I could sew, but the skill I have.
DT was the subject I hated most in high school, and I refuse to sew anything. Or like even attempt. The most form of DT I'll do is a cross stitch.
I can't even remember anything. Like that was the longest semester and the fastest semester I ever had in high school because I just couldn't process anything.
Yes, but actually coming back to that second op shop, I have an amazing cousin. He's living in London. He actually did make a point of saying like you don't want to buy cheap or you'll buy it twice. So like, it's true. Op shops are great. He was a big avid op shop buyer when he was living back here in Sydney. But it is true, you want to buy the good quality stuff, which I feel like a lot of the time, like at the minute we kind of move out, then like yes we will, but like I think that always turns into a very situational thing as well. So yes, we also have reducing transport costs if possible. Yeah.
Especially right now.
Yeah, especially right now. I can't right now. I have to drive everywhere I drive. I have to drive to a train station, or I have to drive to my house. I was saying this earlier to my mates. I'm like, I can't walk to a station or I can't bus it because it just takes way too long and it's convenience is just killing me. And I'm not a patient person, so driving is the best way for me, unfortunately. Audit your spending and their purposes. Why do you relate to that one most?
So, basically it's related to what happened literally last Friday when I could not come to film, as you know.
Yes, yes.
My friends and I, who I haven't seen in ages from high school, we decided we were going to go out.
Yeah.
So, as you can imagine, you know, haven't seen each other in a long time. You've got many, many hours to spend together.
Yeah.
It's a Friday. The next day is the weekend kind of period.
Yeah.
Lots of money was spent.
Let me guess, was it a wine bar? Or was it an arcade?
Thankfully, neither
What was
of
it?
those. She saw this new, like, restaurant thing. I have never heard of this restaurant. It's apparently called Wingstop.
Oh my god, Wingstop!
Yeah.
I love
I have
Wingstop!
no idea what that was.
Oh, it's so
And
yum!
She dragged me there and I was like, are you serious? He literally told me to travel like this far just
For
to come here.
wings? Oh my goodness.
Okay. Well, that was an experience in itself.
Yep. Did you like it though? Or like no? Is it just not your vibe?
I'm not going there again. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Wingstop is a particular vibe. I went there with a couple of people and one of the guys ate so many wings he actually got his photo taken and put up on the board.
Okay.
So
That's a new one.
yes. So no, I do get that. Yeah, audit your spending and their purposes. Yeah, but like if you haven't seen them and it's understandable.
Exactly. Just don't do it basically every day.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's true. And obviously we are stopping non-essential spending and creating a survival budget.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that does not work in my vernacular, unfortunately. I do not have a survival budget. And I will never stop non-essential spending. I am trying so hard to stop myself from buying like really nice Lululemon pants and like Uniqlo shirts. It's trying me.
You know what? After the semester, after your exams, it's your treat to yourself.
Fair call. Fair call, actually. Fair dinkum.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't say that. Oh, sorry, everyone.
We can edit that out.
We can. We just bleep me. We can just be bleeped. Alright, so we've gone through some of our financial mistakes, our histories, what we can do. We've got some management tips we can do as well,
Yeah.
like automate savings. Do you do that?
I used to,
Yeah.
but then I decided I wanted to stop working in a specific job, so I had to stop that one because that income only was the one that was automated. Everything
Yeah.
else I didn't automate.
Fair.
So I feel like it definitely depends on the person and the time or current situation they're in life.
Yeah, very situational based. We also have setting up financial goals. I feel like we all do this at the beginning of every year. Well, I do.
No,
Of like,
can't relate.
really?
Just can't be bothered.
Are you not a goals person in the beginning of the year?
I am. It's just
Not with finance.
not with finance apparently.
Oh,
I've got like personal, creative, business, health, you know, every other category but finance for some reason. I don't know, maybe I should start looking into it.
I always do. I always try to be in the sense of like be more financially healthy or something of the sorts. But in the end, I always feel like that just never works out. We also have avoiding unnecessary fees like late fees.
Yep.
That's totally fair. Try waiting a week for impulse purchases. Now, this advice would help some of my friends that I know who are big impulse buyers. I'm not going to name them, but I love them so much. But yes, no more impulse buying, everyone. Ask if you can buy 2 or more of the item currently and if you need it. Huh? Oh, look, a deal. No?
It's an actual strategy that people use. So, for example, let's say there's like this new product that everyone's like going crazy about and they want it. And obviously, you know, new products is going to be at a higher price because there's higher demand.
100%.
So, if it's $20 and currently you have $50, you can buy 2 of them.
Yes.
Because it's going to only cost you $40.
Yeah.
But the truth is, now that you have those 2 products, do you truthfully need those 2 products?
Oh.
So that's meant to like be the idea. So
Like a s-
technically, if you have a budget set, can you actually buy 2 of them? If not, then automatically don't buy it.
Yeah.
But if you can, ask yourself the
Do
next
you need
question:
it?
do you need it? And it's meant to like help your brain slow down to actually process it. So it's another like impulse purchase kind of I guess.
Mentality. Yeah, no, that's a really good psychology framework to actually instill. I will have to use that when I'm at David Jones. Oh well. I love this next one. And actually, we will get into some colloquial examples we got from some of our listeners.
Mhm.
Do not use a credit card! It is not worth it, everyone! Don't use it! Unless you are financially ready and viable and you're ready to make those payments, do not get a credit card. Do you have a credit card?
I was actually going to apply for one.
Don't. There are so many fees. No, I'm kidding. Don't do it. Just
I know.
wait. So many fees. Like, half the time, they won't even tell you when shit needs to be paid.
Oh, that's great.
Like, you have to do that of your own volition or, like, checking yourself. And, like, then a lot of the time, it's just a big tool that I feel like lots of banks, well, definitely back in the day, lots of banks used to just kind of, like, push and push and push to, like, convince their customers. And then they would get commission. It was very much a scheme. But nowadays, it's, like, not really worth it. So,
Okay.
I implore you. No credit cards.
Yep. I will start looking into it then.
Like, look, research, because sometimes they can be good and they can be good perks. But I think at our age, personally, in my opinion, credit cards aren't worth it. But that's just me. We have our tracking expenses. Duh. We always have to do that.
Very basic stuff.
Switch to cash to visually understand your spending habits. That's interesting in a cashless society, I feel like. Or definitely after COVID, we all kind of became cashless.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And cost per wear. I use that all the time.
I really don't. I need to.
You need to. Oh my god, because it helped me win so many arguments with my family. Because a lot of the time when I'm shopping with my family, and also, and I don't know if you've got siblings and sisters or brothers again? Sisters. Oh, you should know this then. Well, I do with my two older sisters and my mom. Because we all kind of like wear a lot of the same things. We all kind of have the same size. Cost per wear is like a big thing with us. So it's like, you know, if something's like $200 to $400 and like, you know, someone wears it, it's like, oh, it's really beautiful, it's lovely. Oh, but I don't know if I want to get it. It's like, well, you know, cost per wear, there are 4 other people, if you get it in this size, can wear it. So then it reduces that cost per wear.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, it's the best, the best argumentative tool I've used to win a couple of situations. I do that all the time with my partner. He's always like, oh, I don't know if I want this. I'm like, Philip? Shit, I shouldn't say his name. My partner, someone really edited that one out. I say, babes, just, it's $80, it's $100.
Yep.
You'll get so much more out of this. Like, trust me. Anyway. But sometimes he does, and sometimes he doesn't play. But that's okay. Cost per wear, it's the best mentality to have and the best way to win an argument sometimes. With your family and whether you're in a relationship as well. So, to finish us off though, we actually have some colloquial examples. I say colloquial, they are lived experiences, from people that are starting to listen in on our podcast. So, I feel like some have a similar vibe, but I will say the first few. So, one of the examples we have is selling too early before a property boom, should have rented out the unit and held on. So, apparently this person bought a unit in Summer Hill for $45,000. Obviously, this would have never happened in this day and age. It was back in the 80s. Back in 1987, actually, to be exact. With a new family and financial pressures. Had the option to sell and move back in with the parents or rent it out and wait. They decided to sell it for $61.5K. So, decent gain. In May 1987. But 2 months later, there was a huge property boom. And apparently, the market increased and everything. And the unit was valued up to $116K.
Oh my goodness.
So,
that is actually substantial.
Yes. So, and even like, just to even paint you more of a picture, in the sense of like 1987, our interest rates were up from about 13 to 18% during this period. Even more than what we're dealing with now, cash rate wise. Everything was a lot more relative. I think employee benefits, salaries, food. But for that gain is insane. I don't know. I feel for this person. In that sense. What else do we have here? We had a listener say, never put a computer on a payment plan because you'll have to pay lots of secret fees. Have you ever had to do something on a payment plan?
No.
No?
You're going to have to explain what that even means.
Okay, so the way this listener had explained it to me was she wanted to buy a computer and she didn't feel like she had the funds to do it at the time to pay outright, so instead she did a payment plan. However, this payment plan had secret fees of like, she had been late with some of the payments, so she had to pay late fees. They had other secret fees and all this other things. It was all a bit of a scheme, I think, in the end, which kind of sucked for her apparently. But note to self: never put a computer on a payment plan. I feel like, I don't know if you agree with me, some things definitely should be on payment plans and others definitely shouldn't.
I feel like that is pretty agreeable. Like,
Yeah.
In the general sense of things.
Yeah, like I think, and then even as well nowadays, it's like the phones, like there's always a payment plan, or like if you're with a certain, like Optus or Telstra, what are they called? Telecommunicators? No?
I think it is called.
Telecommunicators, yeah. They always have some type of plan or budget that you kind of do when you're buying a new phone if you get a plan with them. As well, what else do we have? We had a listener say, don't spend too much money in relationships.
Would you like to elaborate?
I can elaborate. So apparently the sister was telling me he had some pretty shitty breakups, terrible exes, spent way too much money on the exes, and it's all kind of just like bit him in the butt a little bit. And like, look, it's a little bit nihilistic, but like, we'll take it. I get it. You know, you don't want to spend too much on the first anniversary as well either. I know I did, but that's okay. I'm still with the man that I love. Better be. Nah, he's good. As well. What else do we have? We've got, remember to quit subscriptions before you finish the free trial. I have been very lucky and not been subjected to this. I don't know if you have.
I always get offered them, but I just never take them. I like straight up pay. I don't know why. Like, something is clearly not right in that brain of mine.
No, that's definitely fair. We have another one. Sold an investment apartment due to moving overseas and didn't want the hassle. So, this is a bit of a long one. Bought an investment in Lakemba for $90K in 98. Was offered an overseas position in Hong Kong in the late 2000s. Sold the investment property. Thought it would be too much of a hassle to keep it overseas. They ended up selling the unit for $99. Returned home in 2003 with the following second largest property price boom in Sydney, and the unit was worth $300K. What?
Worse than the other one.
Oh, but like 90 to 300. That's 200. No, is that?
Yeah,
Yes.
210.
210 difference. I feel, why? Just keep it. Why didn't you keep this? I don't know. Would you ever do an investment property if you moved overseas?
Well, the idea of moving overseas by having an investment property here, to me, I would rather do that in like a state in Australia. Like that makes more sense to me than like fully overseas.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can understand the reason why they sold it because, you know, it is a bit of a hassle. Like, even like thinking about maintaining it in another state already, like the whole different laws, regulations, and everything in terms of that,
Yeah.
it would be crazy.
That is fair. I mean, as well, like, yeah, but you could have gotten renters. I don't know. Like, and you just become the landlord and just.
That's a good point.
Yeah, or, I mean, it would have been lucky if you had kind of like Airbnb and like you could kind of do that. I feel like.
Well, back in the day, that didn't exist.
That definitely did exist
but
in
maybe now
1998.
it's a lot more of a viable option.
Yeah, and a bit more acceptable and like a better way for income to come through as well. Yes. Oh, they do make a point of, I love this, never under any circumstances unless you are physically ready to do payments to get a credit card. Yes, we hear you, everyone. I definitely hear you. We also have, this was really good. This came in from a listener. She's got a full-time job. She says that a good way to budget if you are on a decent salary, particularly in a full-time role, is you do 50% of income into long-term savings, 25% into short-term savings for emergency savings and activities like your car and rojo, and the rest is for you to use for weekly living.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sort of follows that 50, 30, 20 rule. Obviously a little bit different, but hey, if it works for her, it works for her. What else do we have? Start saving young. Oh yes, this listener said start saving young. Actually, funny question. Do you know what age you started saving or putting money away in a bank account kind of situation?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Wow, that's early.
But that was me actively doing it myself. When I was born, my parents had already started for me.
Oh wow, really?
So it was like basically instilled.
Yeah, true enough.
How about you?
I definitely did not have that initiative. I don't think I had a bank account when I was born or anything. They just made one. You remember like Combank's Dolomites, like the kitties?
That's the one I did, that I actively participated in them.
Yeah, I think I started that when I was in like year 2 or year 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So not that far off.
Yeah, but like still. Could have been saving earlier. Could have been saving smarter when I probably started working like properly when I was about 18 as well. But as well, we do have a few more. Oh my gosh, we're running a little bit over time. We're sorry, everyone. And just the final one we have here, which I think it could be so real, is sometimes university can be a financial mistake. Now, look, to be honest, it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like, am I doing this degree for the right reasons, and is this really a financial mistake? Should I have been doing something else? I don't know. Do you feel that way sometimes? Or do you feel like you were kind of like, no, you were so ready?
I am. You see, you know how the whole UTS crisis happened with like degrees being cut and everything?
Yep.
The masters I wanted to do after my bachelor's got cut.
No way!
Yeah, the only reason I even enrolled into my specific degree was because you need it as like a prereq to go to that specific master's. And now I'm like, well, here we are.
Oh, Jesus.
But you know what, it's okay. I'm just going to pretend that, you know, it doesn't exist. Then I can't be upset about it. I can't worry about the opportunity cost of this. And it won't be a financial mistake anymore.
Oh my god, the economics of an opportunity cost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, economics for business. It holds my heart. But yes, I did not know that. That's insane. Yeah. Wow. I feel like, yeah, that would suck. Yeah, that just sucks. And you can't change that, unfortunately. That's just institutions. But I think even as well, it is a testament. It is true sometimes university can be a financial mistake for some people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in the end, depending on who you are and what you've done, like you do end up, I think the stats now is that people our age will end up changing 7 jobs. We're changing 7 to 9 jobs within our career, and that can be within anything usually. I feel like at that point, because I think the more we learn about the corporate world and definitely the change that's happened now, it's definitely more about that.
And also who we are as we grow up as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, experience and things change for us. So I think that's definitely true to some point and some factor in that sense. But do we have one more? What's another financial example we have here? A good way to budget. Oh yes, this is really decent. Don't get financial advice from someone who's been broke most of their life. That's a bit harsh, but oh well.
I mean, it has its own valid point in itself.
It does, and it's true. I think nowadays, I don't know, it's tough with that, particularly if you don't grow up in a family that has business acumen or are not interested in that. It can be difficult getting financial advice without having to go out and find someone or like paying a financial advisor.
That's true.
So it is tough, and I feel for the people who do struggle and they've had to struggle that way, or even in the sense of like being like blacklisted because they like just don't have good credit scores and don't pay debt back and everything of the sort. So that can be very tough as well. But yeah, do you have any other examples?
Not that I could think of, and probably nothing outside that we've already discussed as well.
That is true. So yeah, well, I think if you can take anything away from this is take everything with a grain of salt and always ask for help financially. Because I feel like finance is definitely something you can't do alone unless you're like super smart, which like great kudos to you, but yeah.
Most of us are going to need help. And definitely lots of perspectives too.
100%. So yeah, I think that finishes the episode for us. Thank you everyone to listening to our podcast, and we hope to see you in the next episode.
Yeah.